My name is Betsy Sawyer. I'm a middle school English teacher in Groton, Massachusetts, and I'm also the club advisor for the Big Book Pages for Peace project. We have been working for the last 7 years to build the biggest book on the topic of peace. And we've started a letter campaign writing to thousands of people around the world. So we wrote to the Dalai Lama, Nelson Mandela, Jimmy Carter, Maya Angelou, Helen Caldecott, and we also wrote to people who we thought had wisdom that we wanted to learn about, our grandparents and our parents and aunts and uncles and town leaders. And surprisingly, they wrote back to us, which was really exciting to think that a kid, a 10 or 11-year-old kid could have an idea and share it and have somebody actually listen to them and write back. Really thoughtful things that I think is a big part of the project, is that we had adults really thinking about our questions. And their big question that they have asked people to write about is, what can children do, what can kids do to help create a more peaceful world? I have a letter from United Nations Ambassador Chowdhury, and he's from Bangladesh. He addressed the kids as my very dear peace-loving students. And he said the flourishing culture of peace will generate the mindset in us that is a prerequisite for the transition from force to reason, from conflict and violence to dialogue and peace. The ambassador also says a key ingredient in building culture of peace is education. Peace education needs to be accepted in all parts of the world, in all societies and countries, an essential element in creating the culture of peace. The young of today deserves a radically different education. And I think we're finding that. We kind of found it by accident, but it certainly has proved true. And we have a lot of students that are now seniors in high school getting ready to go on to higher education, and they're choosing, many of them, because they've been involved in this project, they're choosing to go on into international relations and peace studies, which is really the most rewarding piece of this for me. We've taken these letters, we've received over 1,000 letters, pieces of artwork, music, and we are enlarging them to become the pages of our book, which will measure 12 feet by 10 feet, and the book may possibly weigh over 1 ton. Why are we making such a big book? Because the children's dream is to share these messages that we've received with as many other children as we can around the world. And their idea, or their suggestion to me, was, would I help them create this large book so that kids would be interested and attracted to go and see a cool museum display, and while they were there they might read these messages of peace and learn some of the things that they've learned, and it might change their life. And if they could change their mind about the way they think about the world and how they can help create a more peaceful world, if they can inspire just one other person, then that might spread to somebody else, and we might even make a difference in the world. We've got all the letters we need. We're ready to print. We need some money to actually make this happen, to make a museum display, and so that we can share it with other people, which was the original dream 7 years ago.